Hi there! Are you getting ready to take the CAPM exam and want to test your knowledge with real-world, thought-provoking questions? You're in the right place. In this video, I'll walk you through 20 carefully crafted CAPM practice questions designed to challenge your critical thinking and to get you exam ready. Grab a notebook, pause the video when needed, and see how many questions you can get right. You can also post your answers in the comment section. Let's get started. This is how we are going to proceed. First, I'll put up the question and I will then give you some time to provide your answer, to select your answer. You can write your answer in your own notebook or you can post them in the comment section. I suggest that you pause the video after the question is posted if you do not want to see the answer right away, and then you can continue with the video. And then I would reveal the answer to the question. Let's get started. Let's get into our first question. This is the first question. It says that a project manager is leading a cross-functional team with competing departmental priorities. One team member is uncooperative and another frequently questions decisions. The project manager schedules a one-on-one session with each member to understand their perspectives and needs, then uses active listening and emotional regulation to guide the team forward. What is the project manager demonstrating in this situation? Here are your answers. As I said before, if you want to, you can pause the video at this time and select an answer because I'm about to reveal the answer. Now, here comes the answer. The correct answer in this case is team building through power skills. This question is centered around the PMI talent triangle, and here we are focusing on power skills. We also have business acumen and ways of working, but here we are speaking about power skills. The scenario we say here illustrates emotional intelligence and power skills such as listening, coaching, and empathy, essential for managing diverse teams. Let's move on to our second question. The organization is preparing to launch a line of environmentally friendly products. You're tasked with managing the project and aligning it to the broader company strategy for sustainability and innovation. You regularly meet with the marketing and finance teams to ensure the project maintains alignment with organizational goals. Which PMI talent triangle skill are you applying? Which of the skills are you applying in this case? Again, I'll give you some time to read the question yourself and you can select your answer. I suggest that you pause the video now and I will reveal the answer now. In this case, we are looking at business acumen. We are looking at the PMI talent triangle. This demonstrates business acumen, understanding the big picture and aligning project execution with strategic business goals. The aspect that we were testing here is your knowledge of business acumen. It says a project team is nearing the end of a large software implementation. As the project manager, you arrange a final knowledge sharing session and ensure operations staff are trained to maintain the system. You also hold a retrospective to capture lessons learned. Which phase of the project life cycle are you in? You can now pause the video and select your answer. You can write your answer in your notebook at home or you can post your answer in the comment section. I am now going to reveal the correct answer. The correct answer here is closure. This scenario reflects project closure activities, handover, training, capturing lessons learned. These are all part of the closure phase, typically in the closure phase of the project life cycle. So we move on. You're planning a project for a client with rapidly evolving requirements and high uncertainty. After consulting with the client, you decide on short feedback loops and iterative delivery with regular reprioritization. What type of life cycle are you using? You can take time to read the question yourself and select your answer. You can pause the video now. I'm about to reveal the answer. Adaptive, of course. Adaptive or agile life cycles are ideal in high uncertainty environments where flexibility and frequent stakeholder input are needed. That was the correct answer in this case. We move on. A project manager joins a late stage project that's struggling with missed deadlines and stakeholder dissatisfaction. After reviewing the stakeholder register, she discovers that several key stakeholders were never consulted during planning. What is the most likely root cause of the issue? You can look at the answer options and you can pause the video at this point. I'm going to reveal the answer now. Poor stakeholder engagement. There wasn't a proper stakeholder engagement strategy, more than likely. It couldn't have been inadequate project team capacity, neither could it have been a weak scope statement or a lack of budget for change requests. The only possible answer here is your poor stakeholder engagement strategy. We say here stakeholder dissatisfaction likely stems from poor engagement and communication planning. Not involving them early on in the project. Remember, if we want to get buy-in, it is very important that we engage with and involve the stakeholders as early as possible in the process. We move on to our next question. You are leading a project where team members are temporarily assigned from different departments and report to you for project tasks, but still report to their functional managers. Power and authority are shared equally between you and the functional manager. What type of organizational structure is this? I'll give you some time to select your answer. You can write it in your notebook as we said before, or you can post it in the comment section. I'm going to reveal the answer now. We're speaking about a balance matrix. And what caused us to choose a balance matrix here? Well, you can see that we say that power and authority are shared equally between you and the functional manager. The fact that there's an equal sharing of power indicates a balance matrix. If we said, for example, that the functional manager had more power than the project manager, you, the project manager, then we would have been more leaning towards a strong matrix structure. Or if, for example, you had no power at all, then more than likely you would have been in a functional structure, or very little power, you would have been in a functional structure. Or if you had absolute power, then you would have been in a projectized structure. In a balanced matrix, power and authority are shared between the functional and project managers. Hence the reason for our answer here. We move on. Your team is planning a major infrastructure project with a clearly defined scope, and all stakeholders agree that the scope is unlikely to change. Which project approach should you use? Again, you can take some time to read the question and select your answer. You can pause the video here. I'm about to reveal the answer. Here we go. It's a predictive. It couldn't have been hybrid, nor iterative, nor adaptive. Why we say predictive? Because we said here that there's a clearly defined scope. All stakeholders agree that the scope is unlikely to change. So we have a fixed scope. The best approach to use here would be a predictive approach. The explanation: a stable scope is ideal for predictive approaches where plans are detailed upfront and closely followed throughout the project life cycle. The correct answer here, of course, is predictive. We move on to the next question. Midway through your project, several key requirements must be added to meet stakeholder expectations. However, these changes will affect the budget and timeline. You escalate the matter to a senior group for review and approval. Which group is responsible for making high-level decisions about scope, budget, and timeline changes? I'll give you some time to read the question yourself and to select your response. You can pause the video here. I will reveal the answer now. correct answer here is project steering committee. The project steering committee, it's of course not the project team. And what causes us to say the project steering committee? Well, in the question it says that you escalate the matter to a senior group for review and approval. Usually a project steering committee is made up of a group of senior people who would review things like change requests and other things for approval. The steering committee provides strategic oversight and approves major changes related to scope, budget, and alignment with organizational goals. PMO may offer guidance but does not usually have decision-making authority on these matters. Hence, we couldn't say the project management office because the PMO, they do not usually have decision-making authority. They support the project, they provide templates. There are different types of PMOs. But in this case, the most appropriate answer is your project steering committee. So I hope you got that one. Let's continue. We have an activity here with an early start of day 6 and early finish of day 10, latest start day 10, latest finish day 14, and we ask you to calculate the total float. So we are calculating the float on activity. This is critical path method or CPM. So to calculate the total float. You can pause the video here. I will now reveal the correct answer. So let's see what the correct answer is. It's 4 days. We calculate total float using the formula latest start subtract the earliest start, or alternatively we could have used the latest finish subtract the earliest finish. So in this case we use latest start subtract earliest start, which is 10 minus 6, and you get 4 days. Okay, so we move on. At this point, I can tell you that if you want to get more of these types of questions, you can go on to my course on Udemy. There's a link below in the description section where you will find a discount coupon. This discount coupon is for a limited time. So if you click on the discount coupon, you have a chance to get the course at the lowest price possible. Okay, so if you want to get more of these types of questions and help you to prepare for the CAPM exam, click the link in the description section to take you to the course. Okay, continue. After project delivery, a major defect causes customer complaints and leads to a product recall and legal action. What type of quality cost does this situation represent? So you have a product recall and it leads to legal action. So you can pause the video here. I will now reveal the correct answer. This is an external cost. External failure costs occur after product delivery and include things such as warranty claims, legal liabilities, customer dissatisfaction. These are all examples of external failure. I hope you got this one. It could not have been internal failure. Internal failure is when we catch the issue or the defect in-house and we make corrections. It could not have been appraisal. Appraisal costs are more related to things like measurement and calibration and auditing and these sort of things. Prevention costs are costs that we take to try to be proactive and to prevent the defects from occurring upfront. So things such as training and designing the product in such a way so as to not to incur defects. These would be examples of your prevention costs. So the most applicable cost here is your external failure cost. Okay, so we continue. And I said before, if you want to get more of this, click the link in the description below. And we have a full course on Udemy that covers all of these topics. And there are mock practice questions. There are mock exam questions. We have 2 full mock exam designed to simulate the real CAPM exam. So click the links in the description section to be taken to the course on Udemy. It's the ultimate CAPM exam prep course where we help you to learn, apply, and to get certified. So continue. You're hiring a team of IT consultants for an evolving project. where the scope is not yet finalized. You agree to pay an hourly rate for their time and reimburse materials used. What type of contract are you using? So here looking at different types of contracts, and this is in line with artifacts, key artifacts that we use in project management. But here we are looking at different types of contracts. So you pause the video here, you can read the question yourself, and then you can select your answer. I'm about to reveal the answer now, so let's see what the correct answer is. Some material contracts are ideal for projects with unclear scope and that require ongoing flexibility. So the most applicable type of contract in this case would have been time and material. We could not have used a fixed price contract, or it would not have been wise, because we said that the scope was not yet finalized, and it would not have been wise to use fixed price. And cost plus and lump sum, well, sum is not one that I have seen before, but cost plus again would not have been a good choice in this case. The most applicable one here is time and materials. So move on. You work in a project-based organization where teams are formed around specific deliverables. Resources are dedicated to projects and teams can pivot quickly when priorities shift. How suitable is this environment for adopting an adaptive approach? Stop here, you can read the question yourself. You can pause the video, select your answer. You can post your answer in the comment section below. I will reveal the correct answer now. It's highly suitable because it supports flexibility. So we ask you, how suitable is this environment for adopting an adaptive approach? And why we say that it is highly suitable? Because we say that you work in a project-based organization where teams are formed around specific deliverables. That's first. But we also said that resources are dedicated to projects and teams can pivot quickly when priorities shift. So we see that teams here, they are able to respond quickly and they are very flexible, and therefore that would be in line with the whole adaptive approach, which require flexibility and being able to respond to changes. So say here that project-based structures are highly compatible to adaptive approaches due to their focus on delivery and flexibility. So this answer here was highly suitable. Let's move on. During iteration planning, a team member is unsure which user story to prioritize. The product owner explains which story is most valuable to stakeholders. This is an example of the product owner's role in what. So you can pause the video here and select your response, and then I would reveal the correct answer. So I'm going to reveal the correct answer now. So the product owner is displaying prioritization and backlog refinement role. The product owner manages the product backlog and helps the team to stay aligned with customer value. Okay, not speaking about budgeting here, neither are we speaking of quality assurance or sprint execution. All right, the fact that we said that the team member is unsure of which user story to prioritize, product owner here is displaying his role, and that's one of the major role of the product owner. It is to prioritize the backlog. Okay, that is what we are speaking about in this question. So move on. During a retrospective, the team discusses collaboration changes, a bottleneck in testing, and ideas for improving workflow. Which of the following best describes the purpose of this meeting? So we have a retrospective here, and they're discussing certain things, and we're asking you which of the following responses best describes the purpose of this meeting. So pause the video here and select your answer. I'm going to reveal the answer now. So the correct answer is C, evaluate process information and plan improvements. That's one of the main reasons for the retrospective. Retrospectives focus on reflection and improvement of processes, tools, and team dynamics. You'll recall that a retrospective is a session or a ceremony that we use in adaptive or agile type projects, where we review project performance to see what went well and what didn't go too well, and ways in which we can improve performance. So that is what we are looking at in this question. Okay, move on. A stakeholder asks to visualize not only how much work has been completed, but also how the project scope has changed over time. Which visual tracking tool best meets this need? So I'll stop here and I would allow you to read the question yourself and to select your answer. I'm going to reveal the answer now. All right. The most applicable tool is the burn-up chart. Now, the burn-up chart displays work that has been completed. Okay, this is what we are interested in here. How much work has been burnt up, has been done. Okay, burn-up charts display both completed work and total scope, making scope changes visible. Okay, you can actually see from our burn-up chart whether or not something went wrong or something has been changed in the scope. It will be reflected in the burn-up chart. And therefore, that is why it is the best option here. We better that we choose burn up here than burn down, because we asked you a question, which visual tool best meets this need? And the question was asking about a stakeholder wanting to visualize not only how much work has been completed, but also how the project scope has changed. And therefore, the burn up chart is the best option in this case. We move on. Your team simulates a real-world workday using a new customer relationship management system, a CRM system, to check usability and identify issues before launch. What validation technique are you using? So we are using a technique that simulates a real-world workday using the new customer relationship management system. So I'll pause here and allow you to read the question yourself and to select your answer. Okay, I will reveal the correct response now. We are speaking of day in the life, or day in the life of, okay? So day in the life testing, this technique tests the system in realistic conditions to validate alignment with end user workflows. So we are speaking about day in the life, which is one of the methods that we use for validating. And remember, when we speak about validation, we are speaking about whether or not we are building the right project or right system. All right, we have both validation and verification. And again, if you want more details on all of this, you can go to the Ultimate CAPM Prep course on Udemy, where we cover these topics in detail. And as I said before, we have many practice questions. We have 2 mock exams. We'll get a certificate of completion at the ending of the course. And the course meets the 23-hour contact requirement for sitting the CAPM exam. So you can go on Udemy and register for the course, enroll in the course, and as I said before, if you click the discount coupon link in the description, you will get the course at this time at the lowest possible price. But this discount is only available for a very short limited time, a few days. So you must act now if you want to enroll in the course at the very lowest possible price. Okay, so let's move on. A technical team mandates that the system must support 500 concurrent users with a 2-second maximum response time. Which requirement time does this fall under? So we are looking at different types of requirements, and this falls under the domain, the business analysis framework domain. Okay, we are looking at different types of requirements. Again, as I said before, you can get all of this in the Ultimate CAPM Exam Prep course. Select your response now. You can pause the video, and I'm going to reveal the correct response now. This is a non-functional requirement. Why we say it's a non-functional requirement? Well, here we are more speaking about system performance. So non-functional requirements define system quality attributes such as performance, reliability, or scalability. So it is a non-functional requirement. It is not a functional requirement. A functional requirement more speak to what the system should be able to do. Okay, and here we are speaking more so about performance. It is not a business requirement. Business requirement is the big picture of what we are trying to achieve from a business perspective. Neither is it a stakeholder requirement, which are requirements that come directly from stakeholders. So we are more looking at performance, which makes it more so a non-functional requirement. Okay, move on. You've built an early prototype of a healthcare app. You want qualitative insights from a group of representative users about its usability. Which technique should you choose? You can take your time, read the question, and select your response. You can pause the video here. I'm going to reveal the correct response now. The most applicable technique that we can use here is focus group. Why do we say focus group? We say that you want qualitative insights from a group of representative users about its usability. Focus groups are ideal for gathering diverse qualitative feedback from target users. The best of the options here will be your focus group. I hope you got that one correct. And again, as I said before, you can get all of this and more in our Ultimate CAPM Exam Prep course on Udemy. Click the links in the description where you will get a discount, the best discounted price, but this discount is only for a limited time. Okay, if you click the other link and you're taken to the course, you will get the best price that there is as well. But the discount coupon link is for a limited time, so you must act right away if you want to get the discounted coupon on offer. Okay, but we cover all of these topics in the Ultimate CAPM Exam Prep course. We move on. Your last product launch failed due to poor alignment between user needs and system features. You want to avoid similar issues in a new project. Which technique should you use at the start of this project? Your last product launch failed due to poor alignment between user needs and system features. You want to avoid similar issues in a new project. Which technique should you use at the start of this project? You can pause here and you can select your response. I'm going to reveal the correct answer now. In your next project, you can maybe implement a lessons learned where we document lessons learned. All right. Interviewing and document analysis and prototyping, these are more measures of validation and verification, which are not applicable in this situation. You want to make sure that you do not repeat the same error in the future. And therefore, the most applicable approach would be to implement a lessons learned ceremony meeting where you capture your lessons learned. Lessons learned capture insights from past projects to improve future performance and to prevent repeated failures. In this case, the lessons learned is the most applicable approach. We move on. You're designing an internal whistleblower tool, and stakeholders are reluctant to share feedback openly due to the topic's sensitivity. Which method would best gather honest feedback? I would pause here and I will allow you to select your answer. I now reveal the correct answer. A survey. And again, you can get explanation of all of these things in the Ultimate CAPM Exam Prep course on Udemy, where we cover all of these requirement elicitation and requirement gathering techniques in detail. So why is the survey most applicable in this case? Because we say here that you're trying to to design this internal whistleblower tool, and stakeholders, first and foremost, they are reluctant to share their feedback openly. Now, the survey allows you to provide your response anonymously. So that is one of the reasons why the survey is the most applicable tool in this case. The survey also allows you to collect a large number of responses. But that is not the key feature in this case. The key feature in this case is anonymity. Surveys allow anonymity, making them effective for gathering sensitive feedback. So surveying is the best method here. It would not have been wise to use a focus group, because in the focus group everyone would be required to speak, and therefore people who are timid about sharing their views openly, they would not have participated. We could not have used interviews, or it may not have been the best method to use, although in this case some people may have spoken under the condition of anonymity in an interview, but I believe the survey is the better tool to use in this case. And again, the facilitated workshop would not have worked well here. But as I said before, you can get explanation of all of these things in full detail, all covered in the Ultimate CAPM Exam Prep course on Udemy. So if you click the links in the description, you will be taken to the Ultimate CAPM Exam Prep course, and for a very limited time we are offering a discount, and you can get the course at the lowest possible price. Takes us to the end of our practice questions. I hope this was helpful to you and it helped you to gauge where you're at in your preparation. We will be doing more of these questions on this channel, so you can check back from time to time. But if you have not yet chosen your course for preparing for the CAPM exam, as I said before, go on over to Udemy and select the Ultimate CAPM Exam Prep course. Learn, apply, certify. How did you do on the questions? Whether you nailed all 20 or stumbled on a few, this is just a taste of what's waiting for you in the full course. Click the link in the video description below to enroll in the Ultimate CAPM Exam Prep course on Udemy. You will get full-length practice exams, video lessons, downloadable resources, and everything you need to pass the CAPM exam with confidence. Plus a special discount if you use the link. This discount is only available for a limited time, so you must act soon. I'll see you inside the course. Thank you for choosing this course. And as I said before, you can come back to this channel where we will have other questions and other resources to help you with your CAPM exam preparation. See you soon. And please go on over to Udemy and select the Ultimate CAPM Exam Prep course. Thank you very much.